This right here is my 1996 1.6 liter Golf Mark III. If you guys haven't seen my original video on my Golf, it's been a long time since I recorded anything about it, and it's come a long way. Excuse the bike in the background. It's come a long way from when I first started with the car almost a year ago, when I bought it off this old grandpa in his front yard, and to where it is now. So to the naked eye, I don't think there's a big difference, and I don't think many people can point it out. But to me, and to someone like you, it's a pretty big difference. I'll get to that in a sec, but let me first talk to you about why I think you should get a Golf Mark III. Now to start, I don't think the Golf 3 gets enough love out here, and there's only a number of people on the internet who actually do anything with the Golfs, and a big inspiration for me was James Pumphrey and his two Mark III builds that he's shown online. That was a big reason as to why I actually ended up buying one for myself. In order to understand more about the Golf, in order to understand where it came from, we're gonna have to dive deeper into the history and start with the Golf Mark I. So in 1974, in Wolfsburg, Germany, where the Golfs were produced, Volkswagen needed to come up with a solution and a successor, an evolution of the Beetle.
Now, what other car gives you this kind of quality, kind of price?
The Beetle had been around for many years now, but the automotive world was changing, and VW needed to make changes as well. They moved away from the mid-engine Beetle formula that they had prior to the Golf and moved to something a little more sporty, a little more innovative, and something that would turn into some of the most successful stories in automotive history in the world.
A new VW is here. Golf, the Volkswagen Compact. A lot of power, a lot of space, a lot of fun. Golf, the Volkswagen Compact. Great car, great performance, and great fun.
And the Golf Mark I started it all. Giorgito Giugiaro, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly,
Giorgetto Giugiaro
was the designer of the Mark I Golf, and that's where the Golf started. That's what we know the Golf to be, because of that designer and that design itself. It created the simple, boxy, but sporty and unique design to the car that we all know and love to this day, and set the stage for a lot more success in the future. The Golf was small on the outside, big on the inside. Not huge in performance, but huge on the driving experience. It was practical, economical, affordable. It was everything that people wanted in 1974.
A great economy car. A car with more room with the rear seat folded down than the trunk of a Cadillac Fleetwood. Where is it written that that kind of a car shouldn't be a ball to drive? The Rabbit, quicker from 0 to 60 than a Jaguar XJ6M.
You did it again, didn't you?
The Volkswagen Rabbit. You've got to drive it to believe it.
In just 2 years, from 1974 to 1976, there were over 1 million Golfs produced, which just showed how rapidly they grew and how much of a success they were. In 1976, the Golf and VW in general had a big step up. They made the GTI.
In Germany, people who love high-performance driving drive a Volkswagen GTI more than anything else. Introducing the 1984 GTI. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen.
A light chassis with a powerful engine which created the modern formula for a hot hatch that we know and love today. The Mark I set the stage for the Golfs and was really, I mean, it is factually the starting point of the Golfs that we know now. The Mark II wasn't a revolution. It was an evolution of the Mark I.
The new jumbo-sized Volkswagen Golf. It has a 29% larger trunk for loads, with 13% more passenger space. The new Golf is much faster, with a Porsche-like rear axle to improve road holding. It also has a 3-year anti-corrosion guarantee and a stainless steel exhaust. But the strongest reason for driving it is it's the toughest, most reliable Volkswagen we've ever built. New Golf from Volkswagen.
Volkswagen added things like ABS, power steering, 4-wheel drive, turbocharged engines, increasingly sophisticated diesels, GTI variants, G60, and Rally Golf. And the Mark II became a legend.
Super, André. Et maintenant, qui sera le premier au sommet?
That's when the Golf became not just a regular commuter, but actually an enthusiast car, raising the value not only in the Mark I's, but the Mark II's that were sold at the time as well. And then in 1991 to 1997, Volkswagen produced the Golf Mark III. The Golf Mark III, as a follow-up of the Mark I and Mark II, originally saw success as well. However, it never had the identity like its brothers. The Mark III lost the boxy shape and lost the enthusiastic feel of the car. Volkswagen focused on more safety components and comfort components while than the pure driving itself. The softer, rounder, and safer styling of the car wasn't as iconic as the Mark I and Mark II. It was a totally different build, and that threw off a lot of the enthusiasts that Volkswagen had collected over the years. When people think of a Mark III Golf, they think of basic versions like the 1.4, the 1.6, which I have, and so on. However, the Golf had the VR6, GTI, GTI 16V, TDI, Synchro, and a lot of special edition. Once the Mark IV arrived, Volkswagen introduced more innovative techniques. The smoother and rounder shapes modernized the vehicle, made it safer, and was overall just a premium version of the Golf. And with that being said, the Golf III was forgotten. It was just the regular Golf before the Mark IV. The Mark III was sandwiched between two different generations of Golfs which were peak. They were at the top of their game, and so the Mark III just couldn't compete. Not because it was bad, but it was because the other Golfs were that good. So why the Mark III? Why do I have one, and why do so many other people want one? Well, it's not because it's good, and it's not because it's the best Golf that you can get, but maybe that's what makes it truly special. So why would you get a Mark III? And I think that is a very deep topic, but in my opinion, a Mark III is just the perfect beginner car. Whether you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, or even above, there's just nothing that can go quite wrong with a Golf. You know, they're cheap to maintain and work on, they're fun, they look good, and they're just a little slept on. And who doesn't want a slept on car nowadays more than car enthusiasts? So mine's not the best Golf, but I like it for many different reasons. I like that it's a 2-door or 3-door, some might say. It's black, which doesn't mean a lot. I could always change the color, but it was just a nice plain simple color. The Golf Mark III came out with some really cool colors, but sometimes to get your hands on one in good condition costs quite a lot more than to just make one yourself. Although some people might prefer a touchscreen, buttons, and some crazy tech in their car, I'm always going to choose my Mark III first. But obviously buying an old car is always going to have problems. No matter if it's a Golf, a Honda, or whatever you might want to buy, it's always going to have issues. So when I first bought it, I bought my car for 500 euros, which was a crazy price, and it was running. It wasn't running well, so we had to visit the mechanic a couple of times, and the price of the car is no longer 500 euros, it's safe to say that. But mechanics wise, it's very easy to maintain, it's very easy to work on, and you always know what's going on. If something breaks, the chances of you finding out what broke are very high, and so that's why I think the Golf Mark III is a pretty good car to have. What have I done to my Golf? Well, if you guys have watched my last video on the Golf, which was posted 10 months ago, then you would have seen then that I was prepping the paint in order to shine it a little better, so I was waxing it and polishing it. Although that didn't turn out pretty well, I'm just a rookie, what else can I say? And also my car really isn't at the stage of its life where I should be polishing the paint, because I'd much rather actually repaint it than polish it. And so the Golf almost sat for maybe around half a year. So although I've had it for a year, it's been sitting for quite a long time. And I just had it out this summer when I bought new rims, changed the rims, got some new tires, and heavily changed the interior, which the interior looked very shitty when I first bought the car, and it wasn't a nice car to sit in. I didn't even want to sit in the car. The only thing I wanted to do was look at it from the outside because the interior sucked. So yeah, I've done some little cosmetic things here and there, changed my interior, added a custom shift knob with Jarrah wood. Now, if anyone's familiar with Jarrah wood, it is known to be native in Australia. And so when I did my gap year in Australia, which meant a lot to me, and so did the Golf, I combined the two and made a custom shift knob in a workshop in Australia with Jarrah wood. And now that shift knob is in the car. I love it. Doesn't fit perfectly, but I love it. And yeah, it's just little things like that that truly make your build unique. And so yeah, I just want it to be a nice simple build, nothing crazy. And as I said at the start of the video, James from the YouTube channel Speed has been really inspirational with this, and all I can say is I always look up to him when it comes to the Golf, and he's a very big part as to why I bought the Golf. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna see the Golf again and again on this channel. It's not gonna leave anytime soon. I actually don't plan on ever selling this car unless I really have to, but it's always gonna be my first car, and it's always gonna be my favorite Mark III Golf.